What's up guys, it's Roger, and today we're playing some more Trials of Osiris. Got a fun build here that I haven't used for a while. I mean, the tagline for this build would be, gotta go fast. I mean, it would be, if that wasn't gonna get me in legal trouble, I tried to copyright it, and then, yeah, I ran into some troubles there, but that's not the point. The point is, this build is all about zooming around the map and getting on top of your enemies before they even know what hit them, so let's go ahead and talk about it. Starting with the star of the show is going to be the Transversive Steps, one of the top exotics when it comes to Warlocks, right? Warlocks love these things. It's either these things or Ophidians, which they're both pretty boring in my opinion, and especially on Blink Warlock, I'm usually running Astrocyte Burst. However, Transversives, they do work pretty well on our Blink Warlock. They do actually reload. Even if you go through a blink, you still count as sprinting, as long as you were sprinting before you went into your blink, so they can reload mid-blink, which is a pretty nice little combination right there. Now, besides that, they obviously look pretty nice, and the drip is the most important part of any build. Now, after that, we do have Strange Protractor here, which of course is going to give us improved sprint speed. That's 6.25% boost. You can only have a 12.5% sprint speed increase in total, right? So you can do this plus a lightweight frame weapons, which we do have a few of those on. I'll show you those soon. Now, after a short period of sprinting, you do get automatic reload, which is very nice stuff. We love to see it. It's all around just a very useful exotic. Like I said, not the most unique, not the most fun, but it gets the job done for sure. Now, when it comes to the rest of the armor here, we just have the usual mods on. We have some unflinching for our kinetic guns here. We have on heavy-handed, firepower, and Reaper in case you do want to make some orbs of power. That's how I run my PvP loadouts. And when I do get those orbs of power, I can use my Innervation mod, my Orbs of Restoration, and my Absolution. At any point, if you want to pause to read these mods, you go ahead and do that. And then we have on 2 bomber mods, so each time we use our Rift, we get around 20 to 25% of our grenade energy back, which our grenades are pretty big on this build, as you'll see in the gameplay today. I told you we had a few lightweight frame weapons, and this is going to be the first one. Our only lightweight frame hand cannon, which I like quite a bit. Rose is one of those reprise weapons that came back to comp. In my opinion, I think they left it in comp for too little of time, and then they made Mercurial Overreach, which is like cool, but why couldn't we have both of those weapons as the comp rewards? Like, can we really only have one comp reward at once? Because this hand cannon is awesome. Everyone loves it. It's a 150 that keeps the 150 speed bonuses while getting a 140 rate of fire and impact damage. You can see mine here. I like Slide Shot and Rangefinder. Rangefinder not as good since the nerfs and the changes to range overall, but it's still a very solid perk. People like things like Explosive Payload and whatnot in this column, but overall I do like this one a lot because I usually slide into engagements with my hand cannons, so it's a very nice plus 20 I believe to range, along with some other bonuses to stability and stuff, so it just feels really good on this gun. Now after that, I was using a few different weapons in my energy slot. One of those is going to be the Funnel Web submachine gun. Again, a lightweight frame submachine gun. You can see a god roll here of Rangefinder and Perpetual Motion gives this thing a lot of range on it, while also having a heck ton of stability, handling, reload speed, all the good stuff right there. Viced Stinger is one of my favorite origin traits in the entire game, because this thing can easily gun down 2 to 3 enemies and not even have to reload because of this origin trait just by itself. Now, if I wasn't using the funnel web, sometimes I was switching over to the Retro Futurist shotgun, which is one of my favorite shotguns in the entire game. Obviously, you see almost 2k kills on this thing. I've been using it for a long time. It's one of my go-tos. It's not as good in the current meta, but a good combination of quick draw and snapshot makes it still feel very solid. Now, when it comes to our Void 3.0, it is pretty usual stuff. We have our Nova Bomb for shutting down supers. We have our Healing Rift. We have Blink, of course, which is going to help us zoom around even faster with our lightweight frame bonuses and our sprint speed bonuses. We have Pocket Singularity because, well, there's nothing else. There's no other choices because Bungie said fuck you. Over here we have our grenades. Like I said earlier, the grenades are pretty good on this map, especially if you know where to throw them, and scatter nades are going to be your best choice. You'll see that in the gameplay today. Over on our aspects, we have Feed the Void for Devour procs, and then we have Clarence, Child of the Old Gods if you want to call him that, but on my channel, we call him Clarence. Clarence is my son from the Void. He goes out after you summon a rift, he sucks toes, he sucks cheeks, anything he can get his little mouth on, he'll give you energy back to your grenade and melee, a bunch of good stuff right there. You love to see it. Down on our fragments, we have our usual stuff. We have Echo of Dilation, so when you're crouched, you sneak faster and get an in-tuned radar so you can pick apart where your enemies are and see how you want to aggress upon them. After that, we have Echo of Persistence, so the initial proc of your Devour goes from 10 seconds to 15 seconds. On top of that, your invisibility and your overshield do last longer in case your teammates give that to you. Now over here, we have Echo of Expulsion, which lets our Void ability Final Blows do a secondary explosion after they get a kill. If you do want to sub this one out, there's plenty of good choices, such as Echo of Leeching. You can go for something like Echo of Remnants if you're using one of these nades that last a long time. There's a bunch of good stuff. You really just look around. You know, you can do Echo of Provision. You can go Echo of Exchange. a bunch of good stuff in here. I just use Echo of Expulsion because I like it for enemies that are holding hands. It can get some good double and triple kills. And then last but not least, we do have Echo of Vigilance. This says defeating a target while your shields are depleted gives you a void over shield, which of course lasts longer with our Echo of Persistence. Good stuff right there. Extra survivability, extra ability to actually go in after we get this shield pop sometimes. A bunch of good stuff with that. All in all, a pretty simple yet effective build today. If you are interested in the build but you have any questions on it, then please feel free to leave those in the comment section or join the Blinkfield Discord server. I'm going to have that linked in the top right and in the description. Now, all that being said, if you enjoy the build at any point, leave me a like or subscribe. I'd very much appreciate that. But if you just want to watch the video and enjoy it, that's completely fine with me too. However, if you do want to go the ultimate step and join my channel membership, that is my Puffer People or my Low Puffs, 2 different tiers for 2 different price points, you go ahead and click the join button below this video. That is the best way to directly support my channel and my videos so I can make the best content possible for all of you every single week. Now, all that being said, I think we're ready to get into this gameplay breakdown. So without further ado, let's go ahead and blink on into it. So on this map, one of the things I really like is scatternades, like I was showing you in the build. You can do things like this when you go here. You throw them straight ahead, and you can just dunk them on top of people, hit some nice shots, and you can get some free kills like I do here. Luckily, my teammates finally follow up on this guy. You know, he goes to stasis crouch. Look how many times me and my teammates get frozen this round. So much fun. You can go out and count it if you want. I don't know. Most people that play with stasis can't really count higher than 3, I don't think. So you'd be shit out of luck on that one, but you can go ahead and try. Now, that being said, there's some other really good spots you can use your scatternades, especially coming down mid. I'll try to point those out when I see those, because, yeah, I don't use it this round, but there's some really good spots. I'll point them out when I see them. Now, let's talk about transversives a little bit, because one of the questions I get pretty often, one of the ones that I have to answer the most often, is, hey, Roger, I like Astrocyte, but can I use transversives? You know, I use transversives on all my other loadouts. People are so used to them, and they just want to use transversives on their Blink Warlock too. And what I tell them is, yeah, you can use them. They're a good choice, just like you see here, especially with a double lightweight type thing like this, where you have that super increased sprint speed. They can be very effective. Nice pick on that guy, and then, ooh, get pretty risky here with this Well of Radiance, but you'll see some nice plays here to clutch it up. Now, the thing with the transversives is they don't actually increase your blink distance, and it's kind of a false thing that people think happens. With these, with Stompies on Blink Hunter, people think they are going farther with their blinks. And I tell them this all the time, but I'll say it here just to get it out there. You cannot increase your actual blink distance in this game, except for one way, and that is Astrocyte Burst. Your blink distances are set distances. Your blink height is a set height. You cannot increase those things. But what you can do is increase the distance that you can travel before and after exiting a blink with your movement speed. So when you have extra sprint speed from something like this as your transversives and from your weapons being lightweight, what happens is as you exit a blink, that sprint speed is going to carry over as long as you were sprinting as you come. You're going into your blink, of course. There's one of those good nades that I was telling you before. If you're going to use those in mid lane, use it just like I did there. So when you exit that blink, you still have all that extra sprint speed. So what happens is you travel further after you exit the blink, but your actual blink distance does not increase. So there's kind of 2 ways you can use a farther blink. You know, you can use your regular old Astrocyte, which I love, and it is the best way to actually play Blink Warlock. If you're going to try hard on Blink Warlock and you want to get the most out of your actual blinks, you're going to want to use Astrocyte Burst. But as you can see here, you can still escape very easily, especially just with your regular little feetsies on the bottom of your legs when you have something like this, because your sprint speed is just so crazy. Usain Bolt could not outrun you if you were running this loadout. Mans would be left in the dust like a turbocharged snail, and you would be flying down the lane. And that's what's so beautiful about this. It's just really fun to get on top of your enemies when they don't expect you to cover as much ground as you can so quickly when you're just chugging towards them. I would say a build like this really does flourish on something like In This Vale, a smaller, more compact map, because there's not as much ground to cover, which means that you're covering it at a faster rate, so you can get around your enemies and flank very effectively and very quickly. The one other big thing I do want to talk about, well, I suppose 2 things. You know, there's the reload, of course, like I said before. If you were sprinting before you went through a blink, as you go through the blink, you will be able to reload your weapons. Absolutely dunking on a fusion crutcher here. I just baited him around the wall and with the flag. Funny stuff, had to show it to you guys. But the other good part is the slide distance, because you do actually get increased slide distance with transversive steps, which is something I really like. Of course, most skilled players are going to be sliding into their primary engagements and even shotgun engagements such as this, and that's obviously very good. I had to put some bags in that guy's throat because all he would do is run out of the fusion. We've had some discourse about fusions lately. I did a live commentary game last week with this this one dude in one of the matches was only running around with his fusion rifle out. And it was funny because there was, there's something in the Destiny community that's really funny, which is a super vocal minority. Like, there's just some really batshit stupid people. We're talking about people that couldn't find themselves the exit in a knee-high corn maze, okay? They would be lost if there was a GPS in there in that knee-high corn maze. They're just not very smart. If they took an IQ test and what they had to get to pass was an IQ of 1, they would still get a -1. So there's just some stupid people around, which is fine, we lock them in jails and then we just kind of forget they exist. But when it comes to Destiny, you don't always get that luxury. But what they do is they don't understand certain things. They don't understand their skill level, first of all, so then they think things like fusion rifles are balanced. They think that they're just fine. And I specifically want to talk about something like high impact fusion rifles, which have an insane amount of range, right? An insane amount of one-shot potential, and a very low skill floor. You don't need to be good at the game to start using them extremely successfully. And then if you are a skilled player, they get even scarier because you can apply your game knowledge. You can apply how you use your radar, how you know the enemies are going to play, and easily pre-fire those things around corners and just ruin people's days. Very good nade right there. That's the nades I'm talking about when you fly out of base. Now, when it comes to these fusions, people kind of, get confused. They think when I say fusion crutcher, what I mean is anyone who uses a fusion at all, which is not what I mean when I say that. When I say a fusion crutcher, someone who crutches a fusion, what I mean is somebody who has a fusion rifle in their kit, but they never use the rest of their kit. They never use their primary weapon. All they do is run around with the fusion rifle out. And that's the problem. You should never have a weapon in your kit that works so well at every single range that you don't even need to switch up and use the other weapons in your kit. That's the entire point of having 2 weapons. We don't have 2 weapons so that you can have one that's effective and one that looks prettier than your mom in a nice little mini dress. No, we have 2 weapons so that you can use one at closer ranges, use one at longer ranges. Maybe you have an SMG shotgun type loadout, so you're just more of a close range Andy, but you still have a medium type range with that SMG, and then the close range is covered with your shotgun. But when you have a fusion rifle, especially these high impacts as we're talking, then the problem is you can cover pretty long ranges easily on medium and pretty damn easily on close range engagements too. You don't even need to pull out your long range primary weapons because they don't have a place to flourish. They don't have a place that they are exemplifying their strengths farther than the fusion rifle is going. And that's the problem with fusion rifles. And that's what I mean when I say fusion rifle crutchers. The people that only use their fusion rifle the entire game, they don't use the rest of their kit because the fusion rifle is so good that they don't need to. So I wanted to clear that up because there were some people that were like talking as if they knew anything about these fusions and how they were actually not OP, and it was just so hilarious to see, like, even some longtime viewers that were leaving comments that I was just so disappointed in. I was like, it's fine if you don't get something, but say that. Don't be like, oh, what a hypocrite when you were out here using a freaking shotgun crutch. I don't know what accent that was. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. That was a bad accent. I don't even know what I was doing there, but that's not the point. The point is, you can't really compare a shotgun to a fusion rifle and call it a shotgun crutch. You know what a shotgun has? Clear lines of division where it becomes weak. You have to get very close, especially if you're using something like a lightweight frame shotgun like I'm doing in the gameplay today, like I do on my Hunter build that I'll release later today. Because you have to get close. You have to hit enough pellets in a spread to actually get the one shot. And if you don't, you have to go over to your melee. There's risk with it. There is risk involved with this shotgun playstyle. There's some overpowered shotguns, of course, something like a conditional finality, but for the most part, there's balance when it comes to shotgun playstyles. And that's what people just don't get. I feel like it's the craziest stuff. Even with a sniper playstyle, of course, you can just get dicked down by another sniper easily. There's some ridiculous parts to snipers, obviously, like how crazy your anti-flinch can get with something like 100 resil, which I know Bungie is addressing, which tells you right there, hey, it might not be the most balanced thing in the world, but there's also downsides and easy counters to sniper playstyles, and you're lacking when you have your special ammo used by a super long range weapon like a sniper. So that's just kind of the problem with fusions. Hopefully anybody who was confused the other day when I was doing my live commentary and like didn't understand all of that can kind of comprehend it now. If you can't comprehend that, you should probably retake kindergarten, because I think you probably failed, which is completely fine. You know, this is a judgment-free zone. Unless you're a Titan, you use Immortal, you use fusions, you use Stasis, you use Hunters that are on Strand and are going to suspend me. So besides all that, it's a judgment-free zone. So I mean, that's really, you know, it's only like what, I don't know, 70% of the population, probably maybe 80%, I don't know. But yeah, if you're not any of those things, then I would never judge you. Never. Anyways, I just wanted to get that out there because that was just like blowing my mind the other day. But it really is like these outspoken minorities that you see with like really bad opinions on Destiny 2. Just the people who don't understand things about the game. They don't understand so much, and they just act like they do, and it's just always so annoying to see, because they'll just say the dumbest stuff and then act like they have never been wrong in their life, and you're just like, you don't know what you're talking about, little bruv. You don't understand, and it's very clear. But then it always just makes me feel a little better, at least, because I'll get like the subscribers that I really like and I've seen comment for a long time that actually have brain cells, and they come in and reply, and they just say like the most pogged 8 brain celled, which that's a good thing, by the way, because you can only have a maximum of 8 brain cells if you play Destiny 2. Like, I'm talking about 1 brain cell players are stupid, but the max you can have is 8. So I mean, like, it's pretty impressive to have 8. And they actually say smart things, and I'm like, thank you for being here. You are a goated subscriber. I appreciate it, because I didn't want to have to roast these kids myself, so you doing it is much better. Anyways, we are on our last play here, so I want to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. You'll need to like or subscribe. Like I said earlier, I very much appreciate that. And like I said earlier in this video, if you want to see my Hunter build, make sure you are subscribed, because I'm going to have that out later today. But I'm going to let this last play out for you guys, and that is it for me today. So as always, have a great day, Guardians.